Stephen Twigg.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and very pleased to follow the honourable gentleman, the member for Colchester, and really to concur with everything he said in an excellent speech, and to pay tribute to my honourable friend, the member for Bethnal Green and Bow, and the honourable lady, the member for St Albans, both of whom spoke incredibly powerfully, as has everyone else in this debate. This morning, I'm pleased to say the International Development Committee agreed to an immediate inquiry on Burma and Bangladesh, and that we will start that inquiry by looking at the current Rohingya crisis. As of this month, more than 500,000 refugees have fled across the border between the two countries, increasing the number of displaced in Bangladesh to around 800,000 people. To put that into perspective, Madam Deputy Speaker, UNHCR estimate that the total number of refugees who crossed the Mediterranean into Europe last year was 362,000. More than double that number is in the single country of Bangladesh, and that is why today's debate is so important. Whilst they make this perilous journey, many of them, who are mostly women and children, have been traumatised, as we've heard, by landmines, gunshots, shrapnel and fires. Those who arrive safely in Bangladesh talk of the appalling violations of human rights that are being carried out in Burma. Let us have no doubt, we are witnessing, as the motion says, ethnic cleansing, and this House needs to say that loud and clear. And as my honourable friend, the member for Bradford East, rightly said, this is not something new. The Rohingya people have faced decades, as he said, centuries of persecution, and have so often been forgotten. The need in Bangladesh is severe. According to the International Rescue Committee, who've carried out needs assessments in the region, more than 3/4 of those that they surveyed who are refugees lack the most basic food to live. About a third are being forced to defecate in the open. More than 95% are drinking untreated water, and a staggering 87% of the families who have been displaced have at least one member who has an identified vulnerability. They may be elderly, pregnant, disabled or wounded, and nearly half of all the pregnant women have not received medical care for their pregnancies. I want to join in paying tribute to the government and people of Bangladesh for their remarkable response to this crisis. Humanitarian organisations such as UNHCR, however, have struggled to register new arrivals as they cross the border. The camps which have been set up for the fleeing Rohingya in Bangladesh are often located in low-lying areas that are either flooded or severely prone to flooding during the monsoon season. And whilst the Bangladesh Army is planning to construct new camps for the ever-increasing number of arrivals, this will take time. The problem is exacerbated by the fact that Bangladesh is not a party to the UN Convention on Refugees, and that sometimes means that UN agencies and others have struggled to gain access to Rohingya refugees inside Bangladesh. With such a massive humanitarian need, the government of Bangladesh can show further strong leadership by expediting this registration process of refugees to those NGOs who are ready and willing to help. The International Rescue Committee is a good example of this. They are ready to scale up in a massive way and have just submitted their registration request. Can I urge the Minister in his response today to indicate that the government will use their good offices to seek to persuade the government of Bangladesh to move on this very important point, that it will enable key NGOs to register refugees so that they get the support that they so desperately need?